All right, so the 49ers have made their selection with the Trey Lance pick. Yes, the pick that the 49ers got back from the Dallas Cowboys in return for Trey Lance is going to Malik Mustapha. This is a safety out of Wake Forest. Malik Mustapha, if you want the quick rundown on him, he's a ball of muscle. 5'10", about 210 pounds. He's actually one of the better run defenders, maybe one of the best run defenders at the position in this draft. And, you know, one thing that I would say is that John Lynch knows safety play. He's a Hall of Famer at the position. Whenever the 49ers pick a safety, you could probably feel good about it. I mean, Talanoa Hufanga is somebody that they picked in the 6th round in 2021. They use a 4th round pick here on Malik Mustapha out of Wake Forest. Over 4 years with Wake Forest, Malik Mustapha committed no penalties. This is a mature, extremely disciplined player. He's a little bit younger than the 49ers' other draftees, and I think that could be a plus. The 49ers' first 3 draftees, those guys were, 23 plus years old. I mean, you had a lot of experience, play now kind of focus for the 49ers. And with Malik Mustapha, I think that you want to pick somebody who's going to make the 53-man roster, and his experience as a gunner on special teams is probably going to be really invaluable toward that, because at this point in the draft, once you get to day 3, you really, really, really have to deliver on special teams. But the 49ers just in general needed another safety to fill out the room. And anybody who plays there in this next 2024 season is going to be playing there out of depth purposes, because there have been injuries in front of him, or Talanoa Hufanga's recovery isn't coming along quite as quickly as the 49ers wanted to. By the way, I think Hufanga's recovery is coming along on schedule. I'm just saying that the 49ers needed to insulate themselves at the safety position with another body. We can take a look right here at where exactly Malik Mustapha will fit. I'm going to slot him into the 49ers depth chart, but just know that he's a 4.5 40 guy. The pass coverage, he's got 4 interceptions over the course of his college career. I don't think that his absolute strength is in pass coverage. I think that he's more of a missile and a ball of muscle moving in from that safety position. Somebody that Brandon Staley will like and Nick Sorensen will like as the 49ers try to recommit to strong run defense. It was obviously an issue last year. I think part of the problem was up the middle with the linebackers and the safeties tilted under Steve Wilks a little bit more toward pass defense. Somebody like Malik Mustapha, eventually, once he starts playing more for the 49ers in the future, once he develops into the safety role, and I'm going to show you the depth chart right now so you could see where this is going to work. I think that he's going to be somebody that really helps them with that original focus on run defense. All right, so here we go. 49ers depth chart, 53-man roster. You could see who they picked earlier in this draft. First, it was Ricky Pearsall. He's up here at the receiver spot. Then it was Renardo Green in the 2nd round. That was the cornerback from Florida State. I already have him slotted there behind Isaac Yiadom. And then the 49ers picked Dominic Pooney, the very versatile offensive lineman. I have him slotted behind Aaron Banks at left guard for now, but I think he could be a good 6th man for the 49ers. So Malik Mustapha, where does the safety out of Wake Forest fit? Well, as you could see, the safety position was a little scant for the 49ers. And Justin Simmons, the player with the most interceptions out of any active player in the NFL right now, or the most interceptions since 2018 out of any active player, he's still available. And the 49ers have been interested in a veteran safety. I just think that their budget isn't very big for that position, so they're hoping for a veteran to take a very team-friendly deal. That obviously hasn't happened, at least as of right now. So the 49ers have drafted a player, and they've drafted Malik Mustapha out of Wake Forest in the 4th round. So we'll put him in there right behind Jair Brown at that strong safety position, because Malik Mustapha, again, run defender. He's one of the best run defenders at this position in the draft. And one thing, you know, you talk about the fact that he's going to be turning 22 in a few months, but the no penalties for Malik Mustapha, that really is something. Over 4 years at Wake Forest to not commit a single penalty, there's true discipline in that, and I think the 49ers really appreciate that on the tape and on the resume of Malik Mustapha. So here's the safety position. Hufanga coming back from the torn ACL. Remember, Talanoa is entering his final season under contract Jair Brown, the 49ers like him a lot. They picked him last year. So in 2 straight seasons, the 49ers have picked the safety. First Jair Brown, now Malik Mustapha. George Odom, he's a special teams ace. He can give you good depth at the position, but you don't want him to be in that starting lineup. That's not the point. He's a depth piece that is one of the best special teamers in the league. So if Talanoa Hufanga is not re-signed after this next season, you can see the 49ers moving forward with Malik Mustapha and Jair Brown if Mustapha is the player they really hope he is. That being said, the fact that he's a plus run defender, the fact that he's a ball of muscle, and the fact that John Lynch made this pick, which is the Trey Lance pick. Again, they got this pick from the Dallas Cowboys for Trey Lance, but John Lynch, Hall of Fame safety, he knows the position really well. If you're a 49ers fan, I think you really do have to trust the fact that John Lynch has good judgment at that safety position. He was behind the Talanoa Hufanga pick, and now Malik Mustapha, different than Hufanga in that he's built, I think, much wider than Talanoa Hufanga. You look at him, 5'10", 210 pounds. I wouldn't say that he has top tier athletic traits. I wouldn't say that he's the most instinctive ball hawk, but Dane Brugler writes that Mustapha is a passionate competitor with outstanding range versus the run and disciplined movements in coverage. And that discipline that shows up to the fact that he didn't commit a single penalty over the course of his time, 4 years at Wake Forest. Brugler continues to write, with a skill set similar to Jordan Whitehead, Mustapha should shine on special teams coverages in the NFL and will push for defensive snaps early in his career. Brugler had Mustapha as the number 84 overall rated prospect, so that's a 3rd round grade. 49ers pick Malik Mustapha lower down in the 4th round. Not bad for the San Francisco 49ers. Malik Mustapha now on the team, 4.54 40, 1.58 10-yard split. Was initially at Richmond, but that was only in 2020. That was a very shortened season, obviously. Then moved over to Wake Forest in 2021 to 2023. Was a starter over the past 2 years for Wake Forest. 13 tackles for loss over those past 2 years. Actually, I thought a good blitzer on his tape. I mean, this guy could be a thumper, obviously, at 5'10", 210, as I said, built like that bull of muscle, but 3.5 sacks from Malik Mustapha and 2 forced fumbles in that 2022 season. So this is a player who can deliver the contact, lay some of these guys out. I mean, that's what you want out of a strong safety who's coming down near the line of scrimmage. All right, guys, that is it. It is time to go. Time to talk to Malik Mustapha. So everybody enjoy.